Hello to you all, and what a weekend of national hunt racing do we have for you. Saturday is a busy day, with our full card at Newbury Park, while Caroline will be reporting back from Fairyhouse, and up at Newcastle it has been one of the highlights of the season for the Fighting Fifth. Without more ado, let's get on with the early starts at Newbury. First up, I think it's a safe enough play to go with Jamie Snowdon's La Conquière for the opener. She showed plenty of toe to hit her head in front, in a maiden at Uttoxeter last month, and assuming she'll act on this soft ground, there's every chance of picking up some black type. David Pipe's Kingston Queen and Alan King's Charisma Cat have both been prominent in the betting, and one of these three should be getting her nose in front. After that, I do like Ollie Murphy's Booster Bob for the Peter O'Sullivan Memorial Chase. He won the Greatwood Gold Cup Handicap Chase back in March, and maybe he can go in again, return to Newbury? The soft ground will be fine, and Sean Bowen gets the leg up once again. So plenty of boxes ticked for me with the trainer in fine form. And with Joe Tizard's Scarface running under a penalty, it could be that Venetia Williams' Hunter Legend proves the danger. Booster Bob goes well fresh, so gets the big tick from me. But now, I must hand you over to Caroline at Fairyhouse.
Thank you, Mandarin. I'll not be keeping you long, but I just wanted to give yours a heads up on a couple of the Fairyhouse contests. In the listed handicap chase, I do like the appeal of Mirazur West. He is a course winner in a Grade 2 hurdle last year, and maybe he can make it 3 from 3 here at Fairyhouse. I would guess there would be plenty of support for Paul Nolan's If I Were a Rich Man, and Gavin Cromwell's course and distance winner, Midnight It Is, but I'll stick with Willie Mullins's Mirazur West as he cranks his big operation up through the gears. Then, in the Grade 3 hurdle, the winner of the 4-year-old juvenile hurdle at Aintree back in April, I do reckon that Willie Mullins's Mercia is the one to beat. She's got to give a bit of weight away for that Grade 1 win, but the going here should be fine, and I'll be betting that Mercia lands this.
Before I get on to Saturday's nap, do make a note of Dan Skelton's deafening silence in the rehearsal chase at Newcastle. He goes well fresh, and the way that the Lodge Hill Stables yard have been firing in the winners, I wouldn't be surprised if this is just one more they are going to notch up in what has been a remarkable recent run. But my Saturday nap is the New Lion, going to post in the Fighting Fifth at Newcastle. Well, as Len Goodman used to say on Strictly Come Dancing, pickle me walnuts. What an absolute belter of a renewal is this Fighting Fifth. Can Constitution Hill, the former messianic prodigy, return as champion hurdler this season? Is Dan Skelton's the New Lion, the unbeaten winner of the Challow Hurdle, pacey enough to drop back to this 2-mile one trip? And how good is Willie Mullins' Anzadam, also unbeaten and wearing some pretty splendidly successful silks? Not to mention Golden Ace, the winner of the champion hurdle not so very long ago. Well, Nicky Henderson has it all to prove that he's got Constitution Hill back to his very, very best. If he has, he wins, but I'm going to stick my neck out and say that he'll never be quite the same again. And maybe in some ordinary times, that would still be enough, even for this famous Grade 1. But, in the pair of the unbeaten Anzadam and the New Lion, we are looking at the future of the 2-mile hurdling division along with Anzadam's stablemate Lossiemouth, and if these four are going to be back at Cheltenham in March for the champion hurdle, I cannot see Constitution Hill at the top of that pile. Sorry. So, despite the drop in trip, it is the New Lion that tickles my fancy for the Fighting Fifth. But whichever way it goes, what a race we have got. And my next best lines up in the final race at Newbury Park. Horses for courses here, as Rathgall Hill tries to make it 3 from 3 over course and distance for Sam Drinkwater. Last seen in a midfield position in the Red Rum Handicap Chase at Aintree's Grand National Meeting, probably wanting a stronger pace set, he gets his ground here, where there's likely to be far more pace in this race, but with plenty of rain about, it will become a true test of stamina when push comes to shove. Emma Lavelle's General Medrano has been laid out for this race after winning last year. But Rathgall Hill will relish these conditions and must be thereabouts. Earlier on at Newbury Park, I really like the way that Philip Hobbs and Johnson White's French Ship goes about his business. Looking back to last season, French Ship was fourth to none other than the New Lion in a novice's hurdle here, with Electric Mason 1 place in front, so this is looking like well-franked form to me. Now, Harry Cobden takes up the reins, so this notable booking just adds to the case for, and his last win going away up Cheltenham's stiff finish tells me French Ship won't lack for stamina on this softer ground upped in class. Ben Pauling is going great guns at the moment, so personal ambition might be the best of the rest, but French Ship is the one to beat, despite a hike in the weights. Next up, I'm going to take a chance on Dan Skelton's live Conti for the Jerry Failden. Despite having to shoulder top weight on his handicap debut, he was last seen a 6-length second to Willie Mullins Mercier in the Grade 1 juvenile hurdle at Aintree back in April. But Dan Skelton seems to have his yard in red-hot form, firing in winners all over the place, so with Tristan Durrell's £3 claim a handy offset, I'm expecting a big run from live Conti. That said, Gary and Josh Moore's Give It To Me OJ justified favouritism when scoring at Cheltenham last month, while Ollie Murphy's Indivar Blue, Emma Lavell's Indemnity and Harry Derham's Vianney have all been well backed this week. So it does look a really competitive race. But I'll stick with current form and Dan Skelton's live Conti. Then, back to the scene of one of my early big successes. In 1982 with Bregon, I'll take my chance on Ollie Murphy's Resplendent Grey for the Hennessy. As it was then. This winner of the Bet 365 Gold Cup at Sandown Park in April won't be lacking for stamina, and showed he's ready to roll when scoring on his seasonal reappearance at Carlisle, giving a beating to Ben Pauling's well-fancied handstands. Joe Tizard's The Changing Man gets cheek pieces this time, and did go well for a long way when second in the Sodexo Live handicap chase at Ascot last time out, but might be needing better ground, so the well-weighted Catate Dori is primed to run a huge race. Resplendent Grey has the quality, Dan Skelton's Panic Attack cannot be ruled out with the yard in such great form, while Willie Mullins runs 4 of whom Blizzard of Oz rates the big danger. A terrific renewal in store, but I'm wagering that Resplendent Grey won't be far away with Catate Dori my each-way angle,